y'all, Be Righteous here from Identity. In this episode, I'd like to discuss how I feel about everything that's been released thus far regarding the revamp. You all know how excited I was after the state of the game on Wednesday because the devs revealed a lot of great information. After analyzing many of these details presented, I've come up with many reasons why I think this change is a step in the right direction. I'm saying this simply because many of you are worried about some of the changes, specifically all talents being only on the chest piece and backpack, how this can possibly be oversimplified even more than the Division 1. I mean, the Division 1 even had talents on gear other than the backpack and chest piece. There were what you called named items as well. They had a whole array of them. Here's a list. To start off, for the gloves, there were Savage gloves, which allowed for a 7% crit hit chance increase to targets out of cover. Or what about Cunning, Decisive, Astute? There were also holsters. One was called a Nimble holster, a very popular holster, which healed you for 2% of max health for each meter ran while performing a cover-to-cover in combat. Amongst that was Recovered, Steadfast, and Sturdy. I didn't even realize how many masks there were, but check these out. Enduring, Refreshed, Rejuvenated, Rehabilitated, Tenacious, which gave you a 9.5% weapon damage temporarily after using a med kit. This was a favorite in the Division community along with Refreshed. And for the knee pads, there were only 3, Accomplished, Prosperous, and Perceptive. So the possible issue the community may have with this is if Division 1 can have these named items and we're going back to a similar system to that, then why can't the Division 2? That's why people are saying it will be even more oversimplified than the Division 1. I personally don't feel like it would be oversimplified. And no, it's not because I'm a fanboy, but I really feel this way, honestly. I've thought a lot about the current condition of the game, and I have realized many flaws with its current system. Maybe one y'all haven't even thought of yet. The reason I feel that it's not going to be oversimplified is because it's already too overwhelming and complicated to begin with, so it has to be toned down. Yes, there were talents on gear besides chest piece and backpack in the Division 1, and it's the same way in Division 2, but different. Now, the talents are too strong, and we're able to stack too much damage with, for example, Concussion, Spark, and Composure all active at the same time. Come on, man. That makes fights seem like they have no purpose. You can melt players in a second without them having the possibility to react. You know how many times I've face tanked somebody while in cover, and in anticipation of me losing the fight, I would attempt to get back in cover? I know I made it in time, but due to how much damage is being output, I would still go down. I mean, this probably has something to do with the lag, but I think it's mostly the damage. This is not the only situation where stuff like that happens. I'm sure you can recall other scenarios you've experienced. Point is, the armor kit system does not reciprocate the damage being received in fights, so it gives you no time to survive during an encounter. Removing talents and allowing core attributes like weapon damage, armor, and skill power being accessible mainly in one place, I believe will help make the current armor system more relevant to the gameplay experience. With the fast-paced game style of the Division 1, the ability to just use a med kit and instantly heal was justifiable. And with how the Division 2's damage output is, a similar armor kit system would actually be justifiable as well. But there are too many variables attached to the armor kit system we have currently, so it kind of would make sense. So there has to be something done to put everything on an even keel. And with the slower paced game style of the Division 2, the toning down of talent stacking is a good start to getting it there. If you really think about it, most of the main talents that we use are already on our chest piece and backpacks anyways. Berserk, Bloodsucker, Vigilance, On the Ropes, Spark, and so on. The other talents I believe are there to help support them, and that's one reason they are being reallocated, because they are just too strong on their own to support main talents. Honestly, I think the devs may be oversimplifying it just a bit, but only to be safe going into TU7. Because remember, you know talents can be added after everything has been implemented. We just have to see if they're needed. I was talking with one of my clanmates, Easy, better known as Currency, and we were discussing how they're removing all the passive talents. He made a very good point. He said that to compensate for the passive talents being removed, the devs might allocate a lot of them to the weapon talents. I said, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Think about it, right? With a little bit of tweaking to the talents, that is definitely possible. For example, self-adjusting. Let's say 10% armor per second on kill, or let's say Vital being a holster talent that activates when you're in your last segment of health, allowing it to be 25% more effective. Changes like this can be easily compensated for them being removed. Bruce Kelly, one of the developers working in the RPG aspect of the game, did say they're almost doubling all the gear, and that includes named weapons. So this is a perfect opportunity to implement something like this. I know many of you may be nervous about the upcoming patch. Some of you are saying that this is the last chance for Massive to convince you to keep playing the Division, or you may be just optimistic about everything being said. Fact is that we don't really know exactly what it will be like until we actually play it. But I do believe that based on my experiences from the Division 1 and 2, also how the current state of the game is right now and how it affects 1v1 encounters and team engagements, just everything that I've observed overall since playing the Division brings me to the conclusion of what I've been speaking about in this whole video. I would like to hear your thoughts on my perspective. Tell me what you think about the changes and if you agree or disagree with me. That's all I have to say in this episode of Righteous Thoughts. If you enjoyed this discussion and you felt it informative, then please drop a like and hit that subscribe button for more future content like this. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.